Hi, Scott from Orchid Environments here, coming to you from the beautiful, world-famous Orchid Bar and Grill. And today we're going to talk to you about one of the more famous orchids, and the reason probably for your addiction is the Phalaenopsis. And the Phalaenopsis you'll see everywhere. It's like a weed. You're going to see it in the checkout line over at the grocery store. You see it at all the home centers. And I think the reason people like the Phalaenopsis so much is they're very colorful. They have big sprays of flowers, and they stay in bloom for a long period of time. But what a lot of people don't understand is that really the Phalaenopsis does have a dormant period, and that period usually comes sometime in the early summer and will last into the beginning of winter. And what we see is normally around the end of December and the beginning of January, we start seeing bloom spikes appearing on our plants. And it's amazing because all of the Phalaenopsises, whether they've been in bloom for a period of time or not, they have a tendency all to know it's the end of the month, end of December, and they will start throwing all these spikes up all over the place. So during the month of January, what they do is they stretch even further, and we start seeing branching taking place. We see the formulation of buds taking place, more branching, and the plant is stretching. And this is just a natural progression for this. In another month, we're going to come back and revisit this plant. You're going to see that it even has grown further, that more buds have formulated, larger buds, and maybe even some of them will start cracking open. So we'll revisit this again in another month, and you'll see the progression. But one of the tips I want to give you is that when you buy them like this is a decorative pot. And this decorative pot, unfortunately, does not have a hole in it. So what can sometimes happen, people can overwater these orchids. So what we try to do is recommend that you don't overwater them. If you take this out, there usually is a plastic pot in here, and you can take this out, bring it to your sink, spray the water, let it drain in the sink, and then come back and put it back into the decorative pot. Or you can use the ice cube technique, which is taking 1 or 2 ice cubes and setting it on the medium and let it just kind of melt into the plant. And that's usually good for about a week or so. But again, you don't want to overly water. And if you should take this out and it's out of bloom and you want to grow it again, please make sure you do not leave it in this pot, because you're going to end up rotting your roots and you'll have a lot of problems with it. So what I recommend is you switch it into a orchid pot, which has got a lot of drainage, or a not so traditional orchid pot, but as long as it has drainage, it will do very well. That is something, though, we will talk about as the year progresses and we get into summer. You'll be able to see how we transplant them and how to care for them. So if you like what you see here, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have questions at that point, you can contact me, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have or address that on a future class here. But what we really want to do is we want to make you a better orchid grower. So whatever we can do to do that, that's what we are here to do, and we look forward to talking to you about the next subject real soon.